At Friends Academy, change always balances with tradition to build excellence. New aspirations and new ideas expand the way the school helps students chase their potential. Today, we all continue this legacy at Friends. This is our community. Supportive, dynamic, and fun.
Friends is a really collaborative place, and it's a place where there's a real emphasis on understanding and knowing kids holistically. When people feel really cared for, when they feel safe, when they feel known, that's when they can do their best learning. That's when they can grow tremendously.
In 1977, the new head of school, Clay Stites, started the tradition of greeting each and every student at morning drop-off. With the promise of a good morning, this remains a daily reminder that every student has a special place here.
My dad told me much later in his life that of all the decisions he made as head of Friends, working at other schools over the course of his career, that was the single most impactful decision, was to start that tradition.
That's been something that I think has been important to me in my time here, kind of carrying on that tradition in the school and making sure that we are a school where all kids feel loved and safe and respected. That leads to kids feeling comfortable being curious, asking questions, pursuing learning for the sake of learning.
Last year, Friends Academy re-envisioned the upper school building named after Mr. Stites. Now, the newly renovated Stites building exemplifies a new generation of academic evolution, while remaining true to the learning ideas he cherished, ideas that still guide Friends teachers and students today.
If kids are going to thrive, and if they're going to grow, they need to be in an environment where they feel comfortable, where they feel welcomed, where they feel it's okay to be who they are. Especially middle schoolers, where they can come in and they can be 11, 12, 13 years old. A place where they can, hang out with their friends a little bit.
The previous building was getting in the way of community. There were some basic structural issues, like no heat in the bathrooms, the floors were cracked, the ceiling tiles were sagging, there was some kind of basic cosmetic stuff. But the bigger challenge was middle school is about community, and there were no communal spaces in that building.
The middle school building originally was designed for how lower school students move around a building. So when you are in first grade and you're going somewhere, you line up and you go from one room to the next. Middle school students, they're moving individually from one classroom to another, and so there wasn't a space for them to sort of congregate. So creating that just allows them developmentally to do exactly what they want to do. And so it's supporting them in growing in that way.
The biggest challenge was, how do you take a building that has plenty of square footage and re-envision it to be a place that brings people together? By re-envisioning the stairwell, we were able to take over a third of the building for communal space. That allowed us to add lockers, but it also allowed us to add things like high top tables and comfortable seating and just places to cross paths. And we also took the classrooms and oriented them into that central space so that they're all crossing paths as they exit class, because we really do want them to see one another. The trick is, it's not about creating something that's aesthetically beautiful, it's about creating something that's functionally beautiful and that allows the human beings who are going to occupy that space to kind of maximize their potential.
Creating a space where one can feel like they're part of it and that they fit is really important. Friends is creating that it's not just the physical space that's part of it, but it's what the people are bringing to the physical space that makes it what it is.
Good spaces make a huge difference. They can foster and facilitate community. They can create a sense in students of being a part of something bigger than yourself. And that's really empowering for people.
Each student at Friends, from preschool to 8th grade, is working towards discovering the best version of themselves, academically, physically, and socially. And that creative process works best when surrounded by a community of peers and mentors who are also committed to growing, expanding, and taking risks.
These years, I think, are some of the most core building years for a child's life, for their trajectory. So they're learning things now that they will have inherent to them for the rest of their lives.
Kids need to be seen as individuals, but I also think that individuals need to understand their mutual responsibility to one another. They have to give to the class in order to get what they need.
We're in effect teaching how to think. I mean, so much of our lives, we could say in the real world, is relationships and is managing through and working with other people. And things like mathematics and language arts and science and social studies, those are sort of the tools that help us get to these issues and these questions.
The school is not thinking about the next 10 years, they're thinking about the next 30 years. They're thinking about what's going to happen when I'm not here anymore, because you want to continue this school and this opportunity for children forever. Children are going to learn and grow and take risks and explore when they're coming from a place where they feel safe and supported. And that's really what's happening here.
Lots of good schools deliver excellent curriculum, have good teachers, have lovely learning spaces, have good families. To me, that next level is all of that plus those relationships that allow kids to kind of be their authentic selves.
He loved kids first and foremost. That was why he worked in schools. That was why he wanted to work at Friends Academy. It's really that intangible sense of the value of being somewhere. And the way you create those intangible things is by really focusing on building the kind of place where kids get out of bed every morning and can't wait to be at school, and they don't want to leave at the end of the day. The students in the school know that this is a place where people care about me.